On today's show, a traditional mutton stew from the Welsh hills that can be traced back through 4 generations of a sheep farming family.
I can see this being in restaurants and just a nice bowl of this, do you mean, a blast from the past that would absolutely be delicious.
A recipe that originated in 17th century Indonesia, before going on to become South Africa's national dish.
My mother is Egyptian. She came over to South Africa from North Africa. She met my dad. He couldn't speak Greek and she couldn't speak English. So the one thing they could do in common was to cook.
How romantic is that?
Very romantic. They got married and here we all are.
And a signature dish from Guernsey that landed there over 1,000 years ago and has been enjoyed by one family for over a century.
It's been eaten by 7 generations of my family, and every time I cook it, it reminds me of home.
Hello, I'm GINO D'ACAMPO and today I'm in Conway, in North Wales. This town is a World Heritage Site, famous for its great castle, blue flag beaches and historic Victorian promenades. And with 73 kilometers of coastline, it boasts some stunning seafood. Conway mussels, Great Orme lobster and Menai oysters. They can all be found in this wonderful water. Today I've got 3 North Wales residents with a dish that captures the spirit of home cooking. Each has a special recipe passed down through many generations. And today they will reveal their secret to you and me. I've brought them to this wonderful restaurant where very soon they're going to have to prepare their dish for many paying customers. And at the end of the day, I will crown one winner, and their dish will be on this restaurant menu for 1 month. Now I must go to the kitchen and find out what's occurring, and show one more time that there's no taste like home.
Let's meet today's cooks. Jonathon Rees is making his Granny Ivy's Welsh mutton cawl, a stew served with lightly toasted French bread. OLGA GREYLING is cooking Cleopatra's Bobotie, a spiced minced beef dish topped with savoury custard and yellow rice. And Mary Janering is conjuring up her great-great-grandmother Hattie's Guernsey bean jar, served with crusty bread.
Now, guys, we have a lot of preparation to do, okay? Because very soon the diners are coming in and I want your beautiful dish straight to their table. But be careful around you. So everybody to the station and let's start to work.
Thank you.
Okay, come on.
Let's find out how our first cook makes his dish at home. 33-year-old Jonathon Rees is a sheep farmer from North Wales, here with wife Sally and sons Maldwyn, Max and Archie. His dish is a firm family favourite, the recipe for which dates back through at least 3 generations of his ancestors.
This is how I cook my Welsh mutton cawl, served with crusty bread. This is a shoulder of mutton, and I've brought this in just to demonstrate where we're going to get the cut from and to show you what type of meat we actually need. We're going to use the neck fillet, which should give us the right cooking time. I love Monday meals, yeah, and I never cook a meal unless there's meat in it, and I love a good steak, you know, whether it be lamb steak, mutton steak, a sirloin steak of beef. And and I believe, having good meat is the key. So that's called a neck fillet. You can recognise, so you've got the fat content, which is very important in cawl because you need the fat to actually simmer it and to get a good quality product. I'm going to dice this up into nice sizable cubes. I was brought up in mutton cawl at a very young age. I remember my mother coming in the house and she'd be opening this pot up. It was absolutely divine, and the carrots were cut up in a certain way. And it was a meal that, that you had toast with it. It was a fantastic, dish. If you actually look up cawl, it is, very much a traditional dish in Wales. What I'd like to do now is season the mutton. This is my own mint out of the garden and some thyme. My grandmother would be using what she had in her garden. These are all the herbs that she would have, a hand to, so that's what she'd be using. We're going to have a leek, carrots, swede, potatoes, a parsnip and some onion. We've put all the vegetables into this pot now. What we're going to do is we're going to add some water and add some stock to it and bring to a boil. and then we'll add our meat to it. What we're going to do now, we're going to pour that into our dish, and this can be left in the oven now for about 2 and 4 hours.
That's Jonathon's Granny Ivy's Welsh mutton cawl, a dish steeped in the farming heritage of North Wales.
So, Jonathon, tell me the history of this beautiful dish.
My family have been farming for generations. We can go back to the 1700s and we're still farming. 1700s, we're still farming. I learnt this from my mother, and I know my mother learnt it from my Granny Ivy. I remember my grandmother, always busy, flat out. If you ever want to go back to my childhood memories, it's always around the table. You know, all the discussions, and the food is, do you know what I mean? You know, we like to go back to the, you know, the raw ingredients, wholesome food. And I remember mutton cawl always on the table. It's always been there. And I know that if you go through Wales, it is very much a family dish, but you never see it in restaurants. And I think, you know, it's been in the family because if you take agriculture, you know, a lot of labour in agriculture, a lot of, you know, we'd have shearing day. Could be, you know, 18 people around the table. You know, my mother would be working out as well, so she needed to cater with something that she could prepare the day before, something that she could put into a large pot in the morning, and then we'd be coming, and my mother would always come into the house about 10 minutes before my father. Yeah, and all of a sudden there'd be a whole table arranged, and this cawl, yeah, Welsh mutton cawl, offered that.
I know you got 3 boys.
Got 3 boys.
Do they like the recipe?
Absolutely love it. The other day, and the little boy, I could see him going into the biscuits. And then when he realised we had cawl, he went into the other room and he got this bowl there. And anyway, my wife came back, but he wasn't very happy because there wasn't enough in it. You know, so they do absolutely love it. And you know, toast with it, bread with it. You know, and I can see this being in restaurants. I mean, a blast from the past that would absolutely be delicious.
And tell me, what would it mean to you winning today and seeing this dish on the restaurant menu for 1 month?
Oh, it'd be amazing. I'd be honoured. Absolutely honoured. And I'd be putting Granny up to the top, which she deserves.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a Welsh dish, and you know, it's been fueling the farmers for so many years. You know, and I believe this dish should win. And I think people need to relive what we've, you know, as farmers have been fueled on.
Now tell me, are you going to serve any mint sauce with the dish? Because I absolutely love mint sauce with lamb.
Granny Ivy never did, but it doesn't mean we can't.
All right, well, I'll tell you what,
yeah?
I'm going to show you the way I do my mint sauce at home. Then if you want to use it, it's completely up to you.
Brilliant,
okay?
Brilliant.
Now, the first thing that I do, I make a little bit of syrup.
Yeah.
And this is very easy. You put a little bit of water, let it boil with sugar, you let it reduce, and look at that, it gets all nice and sticky.
Beautiful, yeah.
Like a normal syrup, okay? What do we want here is to make sure that the mint is chopped finely as possible, okay? Once the fresh mint has been chopped, is to put into this syrup, you fold everything together, okay? Slowly, slowly. And now is the time to add vinegar.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Add this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try a little. More.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's too sweet. And the tip here is to add as much vinegar as you like.
Very good.
Very
good.
Jonathon's dish needs to be cooked slowly for a long time to ensure the meat is tender, so he must get it in the oven quickly.
One of the main things is actually getting the meat on in time, so we can actually cater for service in 4 hours' time, 5 hours' time. So it's crucial that we get the mutton on so we can allow enough cooking time, because it's actually the cooking time that actually gets all the ingredients to marinate together.
So, 1 dish done, 2 more to go.
41-year-old Olga Greyling lives in Rossett near Wrexham with husband Lewis, daughter Chloe and son David. Today, she's cooking South Africa's national dish that she calls Cleopatra's Bobotie. Growing up in Johannesburg, some of Olga's earliest memories were of helping her mother cook it in the kitchen.
One of the secrets of making a good curry is making sure your onions cook for a long time and they're really soft and sweet. Secret to this dish is the spices that go into it. So there's a whole lot of different spices. Next I add 1 tablespoon of curry powder, teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of ginger, garam masala, 2 teaspoons of allspice, 3 cloves go in, a teaspoon of mixed spice. It just gives it a bit of a sweet taste. Right, coat the onions nicely. I crushed 2 chopped garlic cloves. Crushing garlic always brings back really great memories for me because my mum, being Greek, we always had garlic in the house, and from a very young age, when I was 2 or 3, she had me peeling and crushing garlic. Then I add the 500 grams of good quality Welsh minced beef. Especially being far from home, you know, when you make it, a little piece of you is transported back, so it's nice. This is South African chutney that you get here in the UK, but it is good old South African chutney. I normally put in 3. Chutney gives it a really nice sweet taste. Next I add 3 tablespoons of sultanas and a tablespoon of shelled pistachio nuts. Put the lime leaves in to the mince mixture. Now time for Mum's secret sauce. It really is a secret sauce. She hasn't told anyone what's in it. It smells good. Right, teaspoon of Mum's secret sauce. My mum lives just outside and across there, so she's very close to me. So whenever I need more secret sauce, I can shout from my window, "Secret sauce, Mum," and she brings some over. All the milk has been soaked up into the bread, and now I'm going to squeeze it out and put it into my dish. Next, I place the mixture into an oven-proof dish. Now it's time to make the topping. 200 ml of milk, 2 eggs. I add 1 teaspoon of turmeric and beat it all together. I simply pour the beaten mixture over the meat. I'm just going to put 2 or 3 lime leaves on top of the dish now. Then place the dish in the oven and cook for about 35 to 40 minutes. Cheers. Simply take the 350 grams of basmati rice into a pan and add 50 grams of butter, 500 ml of water, 1 heaped tablespoon of caster sugar, 1 cinnamon stick, 6 cardamom pods, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 5 tablespoons of raisins. Give the rice a stir, then cover and leave to simmer for 6 minutes. Right, let's get our babotie out of the oven. Right, now it's time to serve up.
That's Olga's amazing recipe for Cleopatra's babotie. Gino wants to know more about its African origins.
Now, tell me about your babotie.
My babotie is South Africa's national dish.
Okay.
It came into South Africa in about 1650 with the Malay slaves. They used to make it with leftover meat that they would chop up and use a lot of spices to preserve it. And it's been a South African's national dish since then. So my mother is Egyptian. She came over to South Africa from North Africa. And she met my dad. He couldn't speak Greek because she's Greek, and she couldn't speak English. So the one thing they could do in common was to cook. So he showed her how to make babotie, and obviously she fell in love with him over the babotie and the spices, and she's been making it ever since then.
How romantic is
Very
that?
romantic. They got married, and here we all are.
So you got a little element of Egypt, then a little element of South Africa.
Yes.
Any other element? That we
My
got in?
grandmother was British.
So your grandmother was British.
My
so we have
grandfather was
Egypt,
Dutch.
South One second, let me get the picture now. So Egypt, South Africa, Dutch, British, and we got a bit of Italian in the recipe.
In the recipe, the secret sauce maybe has got a little bit of Mediterranean,
Can
Italian.
I see the secret sauce?
Oh, my mama's secret sauce.
Oh, you know, that is a fantastic.
So-
It smells beautiful.
You will taste
And
it
this
just now.
one goes in there.
I put a spoon
well,
of this.
I will taste it later on.
I put a spoon into my babotie, and this is our own ingredient, our own thing, so this is specific to our family. Cooking this dish, it brings back memories of being with my grandparents, cooking, the smells, the garlic, the onions. All these smells now, I feel like I'm back in South Africa cooking, and all my friends are going to be eating it, so it's fantastic for me. It's a dish that just has so much emotion, and my children, we'd all get together on a Sunday and eat the food. It was just lovely. I learned it from my mum when I was maybe 3 or 4. I remember chopping garlic, my fingers always smelling like garlic, my mum giving me something to do in the kitchen, the family being involved, my mum having a glass of wine, us cooking all together. It was always lovely. Family, laughter, just good times in the kitchen. My children can all make babotie.
all the kids can make babotie?
All the kids can make babotie. We've got 5 children between my husband and myself. The little one is 2. He can peel garlic already.
So this is what food is all about.
Exactly, exactly. When we're sad, when we're happy, when we want to celebrate, we just cook. This babotie that's now come to Wales, so my children are now going to be Welsh, but still making South Africa's national dish, and their children are going to be making it, who knows where they will be, and it'll go all over the world and it will spread. You know, from when I was young, cooking this dish, being with my family was important to me. But then as I had my own children, we'd get together. I taught them to cook my babotie, which I love. And then we definitely all spend lots of time in the kitchen, making food, making babotie, just having a good time. So it means a lot to us.
How are you going to feel if you win, okay? So this is a recipe that it means a lot for your family. So what would it mean to you winning and have this recipe on a restaurant menu?
You know, for me, it's already exciting being here, but to win, it means a little bit of my culture, a little bit of my past, a little bit of my history I can bring into my new country. I'm living in Wales, this is my new country, but for me, I'm still South African, and to bring my dish and to the people of Wales would just be fantastic. If everybody can say, this is a lovely South African dish, it would just be a merging of my 2 cultures, and I would be so excited.
Now, before you do your dish, because I've seen the way you do it at home, you usually do it in a big baking dish and then you portion it.
That's correct.
I've got a little tip for you, because at this point you have your spicy mince in here.
Yes.
Okay, I think what we're gonna do, to make it more restaurant looking, we're gonna use this ramekin.
Okay.
All right, so the way I'm thinking is to fill this one. How much would you normally fill? 3/4 of the way?
3/4.
So once we fill the ramekin, then we're gonna have our savory custard to sit on top.
Lovely.
Bake it, and that is going to look absolutely beautiful. So you can imagine when it goes into the restaurant, they're going to get their own individual pot, and these kind of tips, it makes a difference between a home-cooked dish, so the flavor they're in here, but then ready for a restaurant.
The pressure is on as our home cooks busily prepare their beloved family dishes for the first time in a professional kitchen. Each one is hoping that GINO will pick their dish to take pride of place on this restaurant's menu for a month.
So the menu is looking good today, but 3 is the magic number, and I need one more dish with a great story. So let's find out who's gonna fill our final place on the menu today.
Mary Janering is a married 68-year-old from Conway County who used to be a cook for the aristocracy. Her hearty dish is great-great-grandmother Hattie's Guernsey bean jar with pork hock and shin of beef. This island recipe has been passed down through at least 5 generations of Mary's family.
It's time to make great-great-grandma Hattie's bean jar from Guernsey. I'm just crushing the garlic, and I'll chop the garlic and the parsley together. Once the vegetables are ready, place the vegetables in the bottom of the dish. I take the pork hocks and 3/4 kilo of shin of beef, and this goes in whole as well. Now I'm going to put in the bay leaves, the sprig of thyme, add the chopped garlic and parsley. My sister and I both cooked, because my mother was a very busy lady, and I think we both were quite capable of cooking it and did cook it by the time we were maybe 12, 13, 14. Cover the meat and vegetables with 1.25 litres of beef stock. Put it into a slow oven at a temperature of around 160 degrees centigrade. Once the meat is tender, I remove it from the casserole and strip the meat from the bone. I say it's a Guernsey dish, but in fact, nearly all the Channel Islands, this is a known dish. It's just that each island, I think, has its own particular version of it. Next, I cut the meat into bite-sized pieces and return it to the casserole. I'm going to put the beef back in one piece. Because it's shin of beef, it will break up, as you can see. There we are. Then I take the butter and haricot bean and add them to the casserole. Then I return the dish to the oven. There we are. And cook it until the beans are tender. And there you have it.
So that's Mary's recipe for great-great-grandmother Hattie's Guernsey bean jar with pork hock and shin of beef. Time to reveal the truth about its Gallic origins.
So Mary, tell me about this beautiful dish that has been in your family for generations.
It's been in my family for a long, long time, but they believe it originally came over from Normandy with the Normans, but it seems very similar to the dish cassoulet.
So how many years has it been in your family?
Oh, since my great-great-grandmother. She made it with pork trotters because it was the leftovers, and the shin of beef, obviously, from right at the bottom, because they couldn't sell that sort of thing. So it was used up for the family. She had 7 children. She cooked on a black leaded coal-fired range.
So what about the memory when you started to learn about the recipe?
Well, I'm a Guernsey girl from the Channel Islands, and after the war, when we all went back to the islands after the occupation, and my sister was born, and I was sent to live with my grandmother for 2 weeks while my mother was in hospital.
Oh, I see.
And my grandmother made it, and I was allowed to help. Once the meat was cooked, I was allowed to pick it off the bones to go back into the stew.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What about
and
now?
I ate some as well. They were Methodists and they weren't allowed to work on Sundays. My grandmother used to prepare the bean jar on a Saturday night, and my father used to carry it along the road to the local bakery, and it used to go in the bake oven overnight, and then the next morning he would go along and fetch it, and they had a hot meal for the Sunday with nobody working.
What would it mean to you to win the dish and win a place on the restaurant menu for 1 month?
Oh, I would just hope that everybody would go away thinking it was just lovely and want to make it and carry on the traditions. It's been eaten by 7 generations of my family, and every time I cook it, it reminds me of home, and I did love my home.
You got quite a lot of parsley to chop. Okay?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a very easy way to do it.
Right.
So you get your parsley, okay? Get yourself a knife, and the only thing that you have to do is to go up and down like this. Up and down, up and down. What I'm showing you is the safest way to do it.
Yes.
So one hand is always on top of the blade, and the other one, it rocks the knife up and down. Slowly, slowly. But doing that, we can also have a chat and no worry, okay, that your finger is going to be under the blade.
Mary begins her preparations by finely chopping parsley. Time is flying by, lunch service is approaching. For our 3 cooks, the pressure in the kitchen is rising. For the very first time ever, their dishes will be enjoyed by paying customers.
Very exciting because we know we have a deadline and, you know, we can't mess it up.
Unlike Jonathan's super cool approach, Mary hasn't left enough time to cook her dish to perfection, so she's having to hope for the best.
I really needed an hour, and I've probably got 3/4. It's, you know, in the lap of the gods, as they say. But, I mean, it is a dish that's normally made overnight, so hopefully it'll be fine.
And it's just dawned on Olga that she's really out of her comfort zone. It's not her friends that she's cooking for now.
It feels very terrifying to be now dishing up for people that paid to eat my food. So it's a bit scary. Hope they're satisfied.
So that's completed the menu today. I love the food and I love the history. And at the moment, I'm a very happy man. But with lunchtime just around the corner, my home cooks need to start cooking on the gas. They may be amateurs, but today they're preparing their favorite dish here in a professional kitchen. And I only accept the best. And one of these guys will have the chance to have their family dishes on this restaurant menu for 1 month.
It's almost lunchtime, and as the waiting staff prepare the restaurant, diners have arrived in the bar for an aperitif, all eagerly anticipating our home cook's fantastic dishes. Back in the kitchen, some are coping better than others.
We're at the final stage. We need another half an hour. It's looking good.
It's been a bit hairy, really, trying to get everything done, but, I mean, all the equipment's here and it's lovely. And I'm just hoping that everything's finished on time.
I hope everybody likes the dish. I hope it comes out like it comes out at home. And I hope that I don't do anything wrong.
Jonathon, how you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good. Just skimming off the excess fat.
Okay.
And we're done.
Are you going to be ready for service?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, unbelievable. Can hardly stick it.
Oh, I'll tell you something. We are going to start to serve very, very soon. So
Okay.
make sure all the elements that you need
Yep.
on the dish, they are ready for service.
No problem.
You're not going to let me down, are you?
I'm not going to let you down. No, no, no.
Mary, how you doing here?
I think it's looking pretty good.
Okay,
The
are you happy
beans
with
are
everything?
cooked. I think so, yes.
Have you tasted it? You made sure that everything... Are you going to be ready?
I am.
Service is starting in matters of minutes.
I know.
You got everything ready?
I think so.
Yeah,
The bread
you're nice
is
and
cut.
cool. The
Yes.
bread is cut, so everything will be all right.
Yes. All I need is the customers.
All I need is love.
You get that, I'm sure.
So, Olga, what's happening now?
My baboties are in the oven.
Okay, so the savoury custard is on top.
Savoury custard is on top.
Okay.
I'm just throwing the lime leaves on top. Your tip worked. They look fantastic in these dishes.
So, are you going to use it at home as well?
I'm going to do this at home from now on. Right.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you.
Carry on, carry on.
Thank you.
It's time for lunch, and despite the intense preparations in the kitchen, whether the cooks are ready or not, the restaurant is now open. The customers in Conway love to dine out and really know what they like, so our 3 home cooks will have to work hard to impress them.
Okay, service is going to start very soon now, all right? The paying customer are already downstairs, getting all nice and comfortable. What I need you to do, you got 10 minutes. I want your dish exactly the same way you're going to serve it to your customer. I want to see it first. I want to see it, I want to taste it, because I need to make sure 100% that it's suitable for a restaurant. So go back to the station, please, and I'll come and see the dish.
By the end of lunch service, Gino will award one dish the honour of being on this restaurant's menu for a month. His decision will look at 3 main criteria: cost of ingredients, preparation time in the kitchen, and the reaction of the diners. So whilst the cooks plate up their dishes, Gino heads front of house to meet 2 very special customers.
So you must be Cleopatra.
Buongiorno.
How are you?
Come va?
Very good. I know that is you because I can see that there is your secret sauce here.
Yes.
Can I have the recipe?
No.
What do you mean no?
Well, you have to promise something for the recipe. I can't just give
You want to promise? What do you want me to promise?
Well, you make your promise and I'll see if I'll accept it.
How about a night of passion?
See.
See?
Yes.
See? I got it. I got it. I got it. Beautiful sauce. I tried it. Fresh garlic, the oil, lemongrass coming through. I can't work it out all of them. Pepper, black peppercorn in. Cleopatra, have a fantastic lunch. Enjoy the day. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this at home with me.
Good.
So thank you.
Ciao.
Brian, how are you?
I'm fine.
Everything okay?
Yes, lovely.
Good. Well,
Yes.
Mering, she's doing a fantastic job in the kitchen.
Good.
How proud are you?
Well, great. I mean, you know, it was it's something that she's always loved. She's loved cooking all her life. I mean, you know, I go in and there's always something new in the kitchen, or I've made this or I've made that. So
You are the luckiest man alive.
It's Gino's job to ensure that every dish leaving the kitchen tastes and looks perfect. First, it's Jonathon's Granny Ivy's Welsh mutton cawl.
Is this yours?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Nice and rusty looking. I like that. Now, let me see.
Blast of Wales.
I'll tell you something. First of all, what I like is the consistency of the broth, which is really, really beautiful. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The mutton flavor is absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
It's tender.
Brilliant.
It's got a beautiful balance of flavor. And I can see why, for hundreds of years, your family has been eating this dish.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Next is Mary Janering and her great-great-grandmother Hattie's Guernsey bean jar.
oh, look at that. So this is your dish.
Yes, it is.
It looks amazing. So you're going to serve the bread with it?
Yeah, that's my grandmother's recipe too.
It's your grandmother's recipe as well?
Yes, yes.
Nice. You use butter beans?
Yes, because the flavour is lovely of haricot.
The flavor is beautiful of the butter bean.
Butterbean.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. I hope it's tender. I was a bit worried about the cooking.
Oh, I'll tell you something. There is nothing that you should worry about this dish. Because it looks good, the flavor, amazing. The beans, you can get all the vegetable in there. I get the fresh garlic that you put at the end. The fresh parsley, I love that. Oh. Oh.
And finally, Olga Greyling's Cleopatra's Bobotie.
I make good rice, but I think this is not it.
It's good. It's got a good flavour.
The flavour's good. Yes, the flavour's
is good.
Flavour's there. It's
The
just-
texture is good.
Right, so this is my babotie. Oh, stop.
Wait.
It needs another 5 minutes in the oven.
The flavour of the spice mince is unbelievable. But the top is raw, and we cannot serve
No, you
this.
can't serve it like that.
Olga's Bobotie goes back in the oven. She's desperately hoping that the savoury custard will have time to set before any of the diners order it. Service is about to begin.
Every time I call your dish, you must answer me back because I need to understand that you got it.
Yeah.
All right? The way you reply to me, yes, chef, yes, Gino, whatever you want, I don't care, but you must reply to me. You must tell me how long is it taking you to prepare the dish, okay? Very, very important. Your son, I'm gonna call it Cleopatra. Your son is the mutton. Your son is the stew.
Yes.
Everybody understood?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's do it again. Everybody understood?
Yes, chef.
Okay, everybody back and we're starting straight away.
Ready to take an order, yeah? All right, what you like?
I would like the Guernsey bean jar, please.
I think the Cleopatra one is going to be my dish for today.
I think I'm going to go for the Welsh mutton.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you
you.
very much. All right.
All right, guys, one mutton, one stew, and one Cleopatra. Listen to me, 3 Cleopatra, 1 stew.
Yes, chef.
1 stew. Mary,
Yes,
how long for the stew?
2 seconds.
1 more stew, 1 more Cleopatra.
2 minutes.
All right. How long for the stew?
1 stew.
2 I need, yeah?
Olga is still having difficulties.
How long is it taking for the Cleopatra?
2 minutes, chef.
How long?
2 minutes.
After her nightmare with the undercooked Bobotie, she's starting to panic, which isn't helping her get the dish out as it should be.
Are you gonna eat that?
No, chef.
All right, so what do you put on the pasta? Take everything back, do it again, and when it's ready, you give me a call.
Yes, chef.
What did you say to me?
I said yes, chef.
And?
And they are not all right. My baboties were not cooked in the centre, and I only have 3 left, so I've gone to go and cook them. They need 5 minutes of cooking. So. No wonder Floyd drank while he was cooking. This is not a job you should do without drinking. This is hard work.
Mary is also having a slow start. Gino needs her dishes to be on time and perfectly presented.
How long is it taking to do your dish?
About 2 minutes.
30 seconds, you say, right? It won't take 2 minutes.
No, not 2 minutes. No.
30 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll call it 30 seconds.
And trying to get it into the plates without dripping is very, very difficult.
But so far so good for Jonathon, who's impressed Gino with his presentation.
Look at that, that looks beautiful. Huh? You got the mint sauce. So far, the dishes, they look really nice.
With the Bobotie finally cooked through, Gino allows the dishes to be served to the paying diners. Now for the moment of truth.
Beautiful. Voila.
Thank you.
Quite colourful. I don't think I've ever had bananas as a side dish before on a main course.
It looks and smells absolutely delicious. Looks a lovely dish. I'm looking forward to tucking in and trying it.
Mary, 2 stew.
Yes, chef.
I can't serve that, it's gonna be cold.
Right.
Put it back in and I'm gonna call it again. Olga?
Yes, chef.
1 Cleopatra. So you
Yes.
got it, right?
Yes, chef.
So it's 1 Cleopatra.
Mary is now steaming ahead with plating up, but is worrying she'll run out of food.
Can I have 7 stew?
Right, see how much I can get out of here, you mean?
Yeah. Make sure that there's enough meat in the stew, yeah?
Yes, okay.
I don't want just give them bits.
No, okay.
Remember that they're paying for your dish.
Yes, okay.
Don't forget to give them meat.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And finally, Jonathon's halo slips as Gino notices that he's forgotten to turn the heat off.
This is still boiling.
Yeah.
Are you sure that it's not gonna get burned underneath? Look at that, look at that. Look at what's happened here.
Yeah.
This is getting far too dry. You kept it here. Do you remember when I said
Yeah.
to you don't keep it on the heat?
Yeah.
Look at the bottom.
Massive
Right?
disaster.
This is a disaster. Look, You got a bit of a problem here because the mutton got really dry. Unfortunately, it was on the heat, and it should not have been on the heat because otherwise, what's happened? If it's on the heat,
It's gone dry, chef.
it's gone dry, chef. Yes.
As Jonathon attends to his overcooked mutton, will the diners who have ordered his dish notice?
Well, I ordered the mutton stew and it is absolutely delicious. Really, really flavoursome, and I'm absolutely enjoying every mouthful. Yeah, loving it.
Well, this is absolutely beautiful, to be honest with you. So I'm glad to chose this one.
So I chose this because I had the custard, the top of the custard, and the mango chutney and the rice and all the spices of the meat go really well. It's lovely.
With a few tables left to serve, the cooks have only just kept up with the pace of lunchtime in a professional kitchen.
Service is not over yet. I'm gonna have to choose one dish to be today's winner. So stay with me because I've got a big decision to make. Can I have one more stew, please, yeah?
It's a full house, and as a result, the orders are coming through thick and fast.
2 stew.
Yes, chef.
2 Cleopatra. Can I have 2 muttons?
When you've got a family waiting, it's fine. You can tell them to wait for
1
10
stew.
minutes.
Excuse me.
Did you get that?
Yes, chef.
And our 3 home cooks have risen to the challenge.
Look at that. That looks beautiful. Huh?
Service is nearly over. The cooks are all keen for GINO to pick their dish to feature on this restaurant's menu for a month.
Come on, guys. One more push. We are on the last table.
This is hard work.
On table number 32, yeah? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. 1 stew with the bread. Give me another stew. Now this was the last table.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Well done.
We did it. We did it.
Group hug, come on.
Well done, guys.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well
It's
done.
okay.
It was great.
Stressful, but we
Oh, no,
managed.
brilliant.
We
What
did
did you
it.
I
feel?
love it.
How do you feel?
I don't want to be a chef.
Why?
It's hard work, Gino.
Are you going to forgive me that I shout?
Oh, absolutely. We still love you. Thank you.
You need to be a little bit harder. Yeah.
Service is now over, and our cooks have done all they can to secure their dish a place on the restaurant's menu for a month. It's now up to the diners and the restaurant's manager and head chef to help GINO make his difficult decision.
I had the South African dish. We spent a lot of time in South Africa, so it was lovely to have this sort of South African Indian influenced dish. It was delicious and quite surprising too, with the omelette thing on the top, the custard. It was splendid.
I had the Guernsey bean jar, and it was lovely. It was like a nice stew that you'd have on a winter's day.
I had the beef and pork, and they were quite delicious and very acceptable.
You have your food, you have a nice glass of wine, and you feel satisfied. Good food equals a big smile.
It's thumbs up all round from the diners, but which dish will GINO pick? Will it be Jonathon Rees and his Granny Ivy's Welsh mutton cawl, a hearty stew served with lightly toasted bread that has been delighting this farming family for over 3 generations?
What would it mean to you seeing this dish on the restaurant menu for 1 month?
Oh, it'd be amazing. I'd be honoured. Absolutely honoured. And I'd be putting Granny up to the top, which she deserves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will it be OLGA GREYLING with her Cleopatra's Bobotie, a spiced minced beef dish topped with savoury custard and served with yellow rice? This dish has travelled the world from Indonesia to South Africa to Egypt and now to North Wales.
For me, it's already exciting being here, but to win, it means a little bit of my culture, a little bit of my past, a little bit of my history I can bring into my new country. I'm living in Wales, this is my new country, but for me, I'm still South African, and to bring my dish and to the people of Wales would just be fantastic.
Or will it be Mary Janering and her great-great-grandmother Hattie's Guernsey bean jar? This Gallic dish was brought to Guernsey by the Normans over 1,000 years ago and has been in Mary's family for as long as she can remember.
I would just hope that everybody would go away thinking it was just lovely and want to make it and carry on the traditions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my 3 home cooks. Come on! Woo, woo. So guys, have you enjoyed the experience?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Very much.
Yeah? Would you do it again?
Yes.
Did you guys enjoy? Yes! They absolutely loved it. All 3 of you, all winners. Because you worked very hard and you've been chosen to come in a professional kitchen, feeding all these beautiful people. But unfortunately, it can only be one of the dishes that I have to choose to be on today's menu. So today, the winner of Does Not Taste Like Home is the South African Bobotie. Well done. Well done. Now, this is for you.
Thank you. I feel very proud for my country.
I think we all did so well, but certainly Olga's dish was far more complicated than our two, and I think she deserves it. She really did deserve to win.
She worked so hard, and her dish was a lot harder than ours to do, so she deserved it, every bit of it. So it was fantastic, to be honest. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
No, you
And
deserve
mine
it.
it was just different, but you know, we're all fantastic.
Yes,
fantastic.
you
deserved
did
it.
so well. I mean, so many
And
bits
it was
to it.
nice to meet you, and it was just fun.
It was. Cheers!
That's it for today, but don't forget to join me next time as I continue my journey across the UK to find more home cooks, all eager to prove, just like me, that does not taste like home.